Welcome to Life on the Wabash, your home for the lighter, brighter, happier side of your community. We'll cover places to go, events to explore, recipes to try, and information that makes your life easier or more fun. Let's dive in. Good morning and welcome to Life on the Wabash. I'm Lindsay Veramis.
And I'm Molly Moriarty. Our show is all about community and connection. We want you to love where you live and to explore on a deeper level.
This is also a teaching tool. Boilermakers like Molly are producing this show and getting hands-on TV training in the process.
Coming up, meet a mother-daughter duo who created a magical local escape. Step into Wonderland with their quaint cafe.
Plus, the top books of the season. A pro with Second Flight Books walks us through 3 can't-miss titles.
Feel like you've already failed your New Year's resolutions? You're not alone. A wellness expert from Purdue shares simple, sustainable habit strategies you can use all year.
Some call this the most diva studio around. Meet the artists breaking barriers in a male-dominated industry. We have their story in honor of International Women's Day.
And we're discovering life at Lazy Cat Lounge. The coffee is hot, the cushions are soft, and the cats rule the roost. We'll help you plan your visit.
Feeling inspired by the likes of Alyssa Liu and Amber Glenn? Get a glimpse into starter classes at Riverside Skating Center.
Finally, a bit of wine education, from flavor references to food pairings. An expert from Capo Wine Bar helps us expand our knowledge.
Life on the Wabash starts now.
Looking for new places in town? Coffee, tea, gluten-free treats, and paninis. Maddie Hatter's has it all. This new Alice in Wonderland themed cafe is located on South Creasy Lane in Lafayette. Something you probably didn't know is that this business is owned by a mother-daughter duo that truly created a path down the rabbit hole. Walking in feels like stepping into Wonderland itself. According to Renee Bernal, she told us that there were already architectural elements that fit their vision perfectly. We also asked how they went about designing the space.
And my daughter is an artist. She did all the artwork, all the different murals that she can do, the paintings on the wall, everything is her.
Madison Bernal also shared that many pieces were found in local shops or given to them by customers.
We redone a lot of pieces ourselves and upholstery work just to kind of make everything custom and to try to make everything eclectic and unique.
The mother-daughter duo talked about what they've learned about each other through owning Maddie Hatter's.
With this business, she really came into her own. She knows exactly what needs to be ordered. She takes care of everything. She just has become a very good business woman, so I'm very proud of her.
Seeing how she can just like walk into a space and have just a clear vision. And not only to be able to have that idea in her head, but to be able to execute it as well. So just something that I've always admired about her.
For the Bernals, owning this business is about evoking joy and making sure the customers have fun.
We want good food, good times, and that's the bottom line.
But we just want them just to feel comfortable and just to have a good experience when they come in.
If an escape into a little piece of Wonderland sounds appealing, then Maddie Hatter's is the place for you. Reporting for Life on the Wabash, I'm Michelle Guadarrama.
It might be the hottest ticket in town. A culinary battle is brewing in Lafayette with serious bragging rights attached. Joining me now is Heather Thompson with Old National Bank to explain what 100 Cooks Who Care is all about. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning.
Okay, so this event has some real buzz. Can you tell us some more about it?
Sure. So Old National has helped host this event across our footprint for 10 years. And here locally in Greater Lafayette, this is going to be year 8 for us. And we pull the whole community together, we select a beneficiary, and all proceeds go to them in whatever they have designated within their application for.
So what makes this event so special?
So it's really interesting because this event you have to get cooks, and these do not have to be culinary wizards necessarily, but just something that's near and dear to them. You get 100 of those, and then you get sponsors and tables as well as volunteers to come together for one night to raise a bunch of money.
So how does this fundraiser impact the community?
So we select that beneficiary and all proceeds go to them. So this year, for example, it's Lynn Treese Boys and Girls Club, and they are going to use the proceeds to go directly towards funding the programs for their after school, which serves, I want to say, over 100 kids per day between the 2 sites.
And I also see that you brought this jacket here. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
So another unique part to this is we give out awards at the end of the night, and they will be from all the different dishes. So you have a side dish, a main dish, it goes on. There's 5 different categories for that. And then at the very end, there is a top cook. So out of all those 100 chefs, we give one cook this jacket that they get to take home.
This sounds like a great event happening. Now, what would happen for attendees? What would the experience be like for them?
Oh, sure. So you would come, and once you find your table, you're going to look around because all the cooks at the fairgrounds are going to be around the perimeter. So you can start, which one's your favorite dish and who you want to try. And then the program will actually start after we say the tasting has begun. So that is when everybody gets up from their seats and just darts everywhere. It is a lot of energy and a lot of fun. There is also an open bar. And then after the tasting, we will have a program which does include a live auction, as well as hearing from our beneficiary and what those proceeds are going to do for them.
All right, thank you so much, Heather. Be sure to mark your calendar for 100 Cooks Who Care is coming up Saturday, March 14th at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds. You can snag tickets on the event website. That's Lafayette.100cookswhocare.com.
Team USA won big at the 2026 Winter Olympics. With US's figure skating and hockey gold medals on the mind, I'm visiting instructor Helen Myers at the Riverside Skating Center.
And you've been skating for how long?
About 16 years, maybe 17, so a long time.
How often do you see people inspired by the Olympics who decide to take up lessons?
Oh, a lot. There's a huge increase. Whenever it's an Olympic year, you gotta gear up for lots of people to be around.
Who normally, if you were to describe a type of person that you instruct?
Coach down from the toddler sections to adult classes, so all ages really.
Okay, so I'm not the oldest person she's instructed.
Nope.
You're able to take lessons back home.
Helen gave me a quick beginner's lesson.
I have very little bit of experience. What might we be going through today?
All right, so we're gonna start with mostly just how to march in place. That sounds very silly, but it's the best way to get started on the ice. And then we might work on some forward glides, things like that.
All right.
All right, first thing, get your arms out in front, kind of like you're holding a shopping cart. You want to make your knees nice and squishy, kind of like marshmallows. Because if they're really straight, you're going to fall backwards, and that's not going to be fun. So, and then kind of march like you're in a band. Yeah, it's good. And then once you feel confident in that, the first thing we usually learn at ice skating is a 2-foot glide, which is kind of like the same thing as that safe position. But you kind of straighten your knees and feet together, side by side, and try to hold glide.
All right.
Yeah.
How are you launching off into that?
So you're marching and you're getting speed, and then you freeze your feet once you have a little bit of speed to kind of keep yourself going. You can try fishies. They like you put your feet in the V and you bend out and put your toes together. So it goes better. You're more inclined to that. So you make your knees, you bend up together, bend up together.
All right, knees bend, up, together. Whoop.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, Helen, thank you for the lessons. I've gained a lot more appreciation for the Olympians. We didn't even attempt to jump.
No.
If you're now inspired to take ice skating lessons, you can find Helen and other instructors at the Riverside Skating Center, reopening after Thanksgiving.
By now, the winter can have us all feeling a little dull. However, we have an idea to keep you booked and busy. I'm Abigail Peterson, and I'm joined today by Laura Kendall, owner of Second Flight Books, to talk to us about her top 3 book recommendations to keep you entertained during winter. Laura, thank you so much for being here today. Can you tell us all a little bit about why reading is such a good hobby for the winter?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me. Obviously, reading is a great hobby for all the time, but I think for the winter, it's amazing because you can get stuck inside your house like we did the last few weeks when it was so cold. It's a good way to get out and do things, find adventures, learn about new things, all without leaving your couch, which is what you want to do in the winter.
Yeah, absolutely. I am just dying to learn about these books, so can you tell me a little bit about them, please?
Yeah, I tried to kind of give you a good variety of things because if you're anything like me, you read a little bit of everything, and depending on your mood. So we've got a couple different moods, okay? So this first book, Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao, this is kind of fantasy meets healing fiction with a little bit of romance. The main character has just inherited a magical pawn shop. Her first day running it, things kind of go badly, but a mysterious stranger appears in the shop. It's just a lot of fun and cozy. So if you want something a little bit softer, this might be a good pick for you. Now, if you are into heavy, dark, gritty, you want to go into something that is horrifying and then come back out and feel like your life is fine and beautiful. This book, All the Sinners Bleed, is about the first Black sheriff in this small Virginia county who is solving a crime that's a very twisted serial killer. If you want something really dark, try S.A. Cosby. And then we're going to end with something a little bit cozier. Automatic Noodle is dystopian, but it's kind of a cozy sci-fi. It's about a group of robots. Robots have gained autonomy and they've gained rights, but now they've realized that capitalism kind of sucks. And so they have started their own noodle shop, and they're trying to get people to come to their noodle shop. Wow. There's also a little bit of romance. If you want something cozy and fun and a little bit escapist, even though it's kind of dystopian, Automatic Noodles for you, and that's by Annalee Newitz.
All of these sound like a great way to spend the day on the couch.
We do also author events periodically. We will have one coming up in April with local author Emily Machar. She's a historical fiction author. We have a once monthly book club. It's a backlist book club. Backlist generally means books that are not immediately coming out, books that have just come out recently on front list. So we try to focus on books that have maybe been out a little bit longer, so it's easier for people to get their hands on them. They don't have to buy the book if they don't want to. We're trying to make it affordable for people to make it also, and hopefully the library can have it if they don't want to buy their own copy. And that meets once a month. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's usually the third Sunday in the month. We read a wide variety of books, and it's open to anyone. You don't have to sign up. You can just read the book and show up. I've honestly made some of my best friends in the whole world through the book club over the years, so we definitely invite people to come join us for that.
Laura, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
For more information about Second Flight Books, visit their Instagram at Second Flight Books or their website at secondflightbooks.com.
Now that we know what to put on our reading list, it's time to explore a good reading location.
How about a place where you can curl up with a good book and a cat on your lap? After enjoying steady growth across the U.S. since the early 2000s, cat cafes have exploded in number within the last 2 years.
This trend corresponds to a rise in loneliness in the U.S. Research from the American Psychological Association shows more than half of U.S. adults feel isolated and lacking companionship.
That's where spots like Lafayette's Lazy Cat Lounge are stepping in and serving two purposes: helping cats find loving homes and helping humans find connection.
We're here in Lafayette at Lazy Cat Lounge, where you can sip a coffee, relax, and enjoy your experience with adorable cats. We're gonna go inside and talk with Kennedy about what makes this place so special. Kennedy, can you please tell us the concept of the Lazy Cat Lounge? How does it work? How do guests sign up? And how's everything?
Yeah, so we're a nonprofit animal rescue that focuses on cats exclusively. And then we also provide services and education to the public around cats so that people can come in and pay a donation fee and spend time with the animals. It's a relaxing activity, helps people learn about these awesome animals. They're my favorite and many people's favorite. And then it also helps them find a cat if they want to adopt them. But it's also just fun to hang out with the animals and spend an hour with them just for, relaxing or therapeutic purposes if they'd like that as well.
And how do you choose cats? What's the concept of choosing cats? Are they always all for adoption?
Yeah. So all the animals here are for adoption. We don't have anybody that stays here full time. That's never the goal. We always want to find them homes. And then as far as how they come to us, it's just through either people surrendering them, either through family members passing away and they need to surrender them, or they need to rehome them, or sometimes finding them as strays on the street.
Do you help people who adopt cats from here? Do you kind of navigate them through the process later? For example, finding a good vet, or how to take care of the cat and everything?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we provide educational materials as far as what proper vetting people should do through their cat's life, recommending good vets that we like and who we use through our rescue. and we send people home. We have an adoption packet that we send home with people, and then we're always here as a resource if people want to call and ask questions.
And do you ever make any special events?
Yeah, sometimes we have some special events. Like we partner with some of the other local rescues to do events about not declawing, where we give out educational materials about not declawing your animals and why that's really important. And we provide things like free nail trims for your animals and giving out things like scratchers and like kitty caps to encourage people not to declaw their pets.
And I remember you told me you have a rescue center next door.
We do,
what is
yeah.
that?
Yeah, so we have more of this space is sort of like an open living room type setting where all the animals are not in cages and free to roam around. But we also have more of an animal shelter traditional space next door where we keep animals that are waiting to be spayed or neutered or vaccinated or that might be sick.
Perfect. If you want to find out more about the Lazy Cat Lounge, make sure to visit their website, lazycatloungecafe.com, or their Instagram page.
International Women's Day is right around the corner, so I figured, why not celebrate women's work by literally wearing it? Today, I'm getting tattooed at Medusa Ink Studio, an all-women-run business in Winfield, Indiana. Let's go. I'm here with Sasha Wagner, the owner of Medusa Ink Studio. Sasha, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you guys so much for coming.
What inspired you to open an all-female run business?
So, I'm very experienced with getting tattoos at multiple different tattoo shops around the world, actually. And so I always have felt a little bit intimidated going into a male tattoo studio. So I think the idea was to create something that was a comfortable, clean space for women to come get tattoos and not feel like they're being like hovered over or watched, and they can just relax and be comfortable throughout the process.
And you don't just tattoo here, you also
Correct.
offer other
services. I offer permanent makeup, so I pretty much do all forms of permanent makeup. We do eyebrows, lip blushing, fox freckles, eyeliner, cheek blushing, a little bit of everything. And then we offer tattoos, piercings, permanent jewelry, and then we also dabble in a few other things. So we do tooth gems, we do freehand henna.
Cool.
And then we also have a bridal party that does like weddings and stuff like that. So we have wedding hair and makeup.
What advice would you give to someone who may be on the fence about getting a tattoo or a piercing?
Yeah, so I feel like we tried to make this a really simple procedure, step by step. So what I would recommend for somebody that is a little bit nervous about getting a tattoo is coming in and maybe booking a consultation. That kind of gives you time to sit down with the artist, explain exactly what you want, and then also get to know the artist a little bit and kind of get to see who they are. I feel like coming in and seeing the space and chatting with the girls just alone makes you feel comfortable. And we are really flexible when it comes to working back and forth with something that you might be interested in, making changes. Whenever you come in for the actual tattoo, we are giving advice on where to place the tattoo. We print out multiple sizes as far as the tattoo itself, and like just kind of give you recommendations, as well as, we're not crazy if like you're like, oh my God, I don't like it there, I want to place it somewhere else or something like that. So I feel like just kind of working back and forth with the client and making them feel comfortable throughout the process really helps them.
And that's a relief because I'm very indecisive. So I'm constantly, when I'm getting a tattoo, I'm constantly like changing up where I want it.
Do you have an idea of where you want to get your tattoo today?
Ooh, somewhere on my arm. We'll have to see. It might be one of those situations where I move it around a few times.
Definitely, we could do that.
I'm getting tattooed by Cora and Zoe, two brilliant tattoo artists that made me feel right at home at Medusa Ink Studio.
Walk me through the process. What are we doing right now? Currently, we're about to get you cleaned up and shaved up just so that, one, we're sanitary, but two, that the stencil applies nice and smooth for you. And then once we go ahead and do that, we'll get some stencil stuff on you and get the stencil transferred over.
Cora and Zoe helped ease my nerves while getting tattooed, making sure I was comfortable and keeping things light with fun conversation. Many laughs were shared, and it made the tattooing process a breeze. They got to know me, and I got to know them, which made my overall experience much more meaningful.
To make a living doing art is such a blessing.
Yes, that is so cool.
Especially in a time like right now where digital art and AI is sort of taking over on all the different aspects. It's really cool to be able to not only do physical art, but create it for other people and on other people.
I couldn't have asked for a better visit to Medusa Ink Studio. The artists are incredibly kind and accommodating, the environment felt safe and clean, and I left feeling like I made new friends. I can't wait for my next visit. Big thanks to Sasha and her team for giving me such an amazing experience. Don't forget to follow Medusa Ink Studio on Instagram at Medusa Ink Studio, and remember to have an amazing International Women's Day.
It's that point in the year when motivation starts to dip. The new year doesn't feel so new anymore. And for a lot of people, those New Year's resolutions may already feel like a lost cause. But what if falling off track doesn't mean you failed at all? Today, we're busting some of the biggest myths around New Year's resolutions and talking about how to reset expectations in a way that actually works. Joining me today is Jason Krapek, a clinical assistant professor in the Department of Health and Kinesiology at Purdue University, who specializes in wellness coaching and sustainable behavior change. To start off, Jason, why do New Year's resolutions tend to start to fall off so early in the year?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just life gets in the way sometimes. You know, when we set our New Year's resolutions, oftentimes it's during a kind of break in our year. So we've kind of at a more resting point. We feel really motivated because we have this new year coming up and we want to make it a happy and healthy one. So in that moment, we're making goals that we're super, super motivated about, but motivation is a very finite resource. It's really easy for us to get off track, but it's super, super important that we focus on realistic expectations. So maybe the goal that you set in the first place maybe was a little bit beyond what really fits within your life, or kind of more on the personal end. You know, there's a million distractions out there, right? So it's really easy to get pulled away from your own health and fitness. And unfortunately, it's one of the first things that gets put on the back burner in our lives, whether we get busy at work, family needs, things like that.
Yeah. One big myth is that if you mess up once, you've failed, or that you need constant motivation to succeed. Why are those ideas so misleading?
Struggle is part of the process, right? The only way we can accomplish something really meaningful is that it challenges us. Look at struggles as opportunities to grow, not just in the specific goal, but you as a person as well. So I think it's really important to have a good mindset and understand that challenges are going to come up, and it's just part of the process in accomplishing any kind of meaningful goal.
Yeah, that's some really great advice. So when someone starts to fall off track, what does a healthy reset actually look like? And how can people stop being so hard on themselves?
Yeah, it's easy to have that real emotional reaction to something we're super motivated and dedicated to doing, and then to struggle or to have some missteps. It's important to kind of take a second, take a pause, not panic. You know, people think that, oh, my New Year's resolution has failed. We're 5-6 weeks into the year. There's 52 weeks. So the game is not over by any means. So it's important to kind of stop, reset, reevaluate your original goal and think about, okay, is this something that I can actually pursue, or do I need to maybe adjust the goal a little bit?
Yeah, that's super helpful. And before we go, for those watching at home who want to feel better year-round instead of just January, what are 1 to 2 sustainable habits that people can really stick with?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is master the basics, right? We don't have to do some really complicated workout plan or complicated diet or complicated recovery routine. If you master the basics, you're about 95% of the way there. Give yourself a little grace and understand that perfect is never the goal, because that's an impossible goal to reach for. So if you're demanding perfection of yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure. So celebrating those small victories along the way, and again, changing that mindset of, okay, I encountered a struggle and I was able to overcome it. I wasn't perfect during it, but that was never the expectation in the first place. So celebrating those small victories and just learning to enjoy the process of it. But most importantly, focus on what you can do today. I know whenever I get kind of overwhelmed with work, family, my own goals, things like that, okay, what can I do right now to at least make a step in the positive direction? Even if it's a tippy-toe step and it's not a giant leap. You know, the whole Neil Armstrong, like, one small step for man, one giant leap for man. I think about that sometimes. Like, it's okay to take those small steps because they eventually lead to really, really big success.
Yeah, awesome. Well, this was a super helpful conversation, and thank you so much for joining us, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You can connect with Jason on LinkedIn or reach him via his Purdue email at jkrapek@purdue.edu.
I'm here at Capel Wine Bar with Julie Fields, one of the owners, and we are talking about how to choose wine for everyday moments. There are a lot of people come inside to order the wine, so what kind of wine do they usually order?
Well, it really depends on the customer. The trends that we have noticed is the younger generation really go for the sweet wines. So like a sweet Riesling or a sweet Moscato. The older crowd, they tend to be a little more versed in the flavors and how the palate works when tasting wine. So they tend to lean more towards like a Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a deep red, or a Merlot.
Since everybody have their budget, so how can you help them to find the wine that really fits them in their budget?
So the best way to do that is we offer what is called a wine flight, where you get three 3-ounce pours of wine rather than a 6-ounce pour. So for the 3 3-ounce pours for the flight, you could simply try a white, maybe a rosé, and then a red. And we label every one of them so you know exactly what you're drinking, and you can take the label with you if you fall in love with it, take a picture of it, and that way when you come back, you know what you tried and you know what you liked or what you didn't like.
Most of people have wines for their like special days. So how can you help them to choose the wine that really fits them for the special day?
That's one of my favorite things to do as a wine expert in this business. I took many wine classes to get to where I'm at with my expertise level, so I know how to pair the wines with food. So a lot of time if it's a date night or a birthday party or a celebration, they might come in and say, hey, we're having steak tonight. What kind of wine goes best with steak? So I would recommend a deep red, a Merlot, a Cabernet Sauvignon, even a Syrah. If it's going to be like a seafood, then we lean more towards like the white wines. You want something tangier, more citrusy. So I tend to ask questions about what specifically they're doing on their date. Are they going to be on a picnic? Are they going to be at home making a meal? And then I can help them pick out wines specifically for what they want.
If you are interested in learning more about wine or need help finding the right bottle, you can visit Apple Wine Bar, 210 Main Street in Lafayette.
More than just a place to grab some food, Trisha's Redbird Cafe has won countless awards this past year. Let's go see what makes this heartwarming place so special.
This small cafe, located just southeast of Lafayette in Dayton, Indiana, was awarded Small Business of the Year for 2025 and has even been mentioned in the Journal and Courier several times. We were able to sit down with the owner as she described this accomplishment.
So what was your initial reaction to receiving the Small Business of the Year award this past year?
I cried a lot. It was such a huge honor, and being only in business for a little over 8 years, it was kind of a shock because we were one of the younger businesses that has been chosen recently.
What are you proud of in your cafe?
I'm proud of the quality food we put out. I'm proud of the relationship that the staff have with the customers. I'm just proud of being part of a small community that people come from miles around to visit.
When we come here, we are like family. We love the employees. We love Trish and her husband and their family. They're amazing people, and they love this community. And the food is fantastic.
What is your driving force working here as the owner?
My force is to put smiles on people's faces with our cooking. I'm a firm believer that food is the basis for any relationship you have. And so the more smiles I can put on people's faces with the food that we're putting out and the good service and with our catering, that just is what keeps me going every day.
If you have a story you'd like to see in our next episode of Life on the Wabash, send us an email, connect with us on Instagram, or subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Your voice will help drive the show, and we're eager to hear from you. Here's a look at when you can find us next.
Brought to you in partnership with Purdue University Brian Lamb School of Communication and NBC 16 Lafayette, a Star City TV station.